what the hell's going on with your face over there? And then the thing behind your head that looks like a bucket. It's what's with your face and your ears? I don't know. Hi, hey, it's Nick. Thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. Daily videos, almost daily videos. Subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mom. Most importantly, donate to my Patreon page. Helps me keep content coming, videos going. Helps me working, keep going. Little dough helps out keeping the podcast, which is a separate thing, but that keeps me going there. So donate. It's a really cool thing. Please do. It's a great place to go to check out artists and people that are doing work that need a little bit of help and want to continue to provide cool content to the internet. Patreon.com/NickD Show. Pick a tier. Donate today. It helps. Please donate. Patreon.com/NickD Show. Go there right now. Donate. Check out my podcast every Tuesday, every Friday. Brand new episodes. The Nick D Podcast, part of the RadioMisfits.com. Radio Misfits Network. Okay. Hey, before I get into the topic. That's right. They retired his number. Marian Hossa, my favorite hockey player of all time, my favorite Blackhawk of all time. He signed a one-day contract so that he could retire as a Blackhawk, and upon doing that, he is now officially retired from hockey, and he retired as a Blackhawk. He will forever be a Blackhawk. They decided that they would retire his number. Nobody on the Blackhawks team has ever worn the number 81. Only one player has, and only one player ever will. And that's Marian Hossa. Marian Hossa, next year at the beginning of the season, the first game of the Hawks season, at the end of this year, when the Hawks season starts again, they will have a big ceremony and they will hoist number 81 up to the rafters of the UC, where it will remain among other hockey legends and Blackhawk gods. Number 81 has been retired. Marian Hossa goes to the rafters, forever a Blackhawk, forever retired. The best hockey player ever. Anyway, we're talking about baseball. Baseball kicked off yesterday. The Major League Baseball season begun. The Cubs won, for God's sake. They beat the Brewers, so that they're going to be 162-0. Maybe not. Oh, here, wait. Maybe I'll wear it. There we go. Cubs. So, see that? Remember that? That was a few years ago. Anyway, hey, baseball movies is what I wanted to talk about. So here's what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about baseball movies. Now, I like a lot of baseball movies. I love a few, but I hate a lot of them. But I figured we'd talk about baseball movies. I have here in front of me, I'm going to go through like a list of baseball movies. But I would tell you right up front, the ones that stand out for me. The best baseball movie ever made is Bad News Bears. Bar none, period, end of story. We can't have a discussion if you disagree with that, because Bad News Bears is the greatest baseball movie ever made. It is also one of the best movies ever made about being a kid, especially one of the best movies ever made about being a kid in the 70s, because I was the age of those kids when that movie came out. I am a kid of the 70s. And you watch this movie now and everything is everything has to be politically correct now, and it's offensive to this person and to that person and to these people can't watch it. I don't give a shit about any of that crap. I love Bad News Bears, and I know that a lot of it plays a little bit differently now, like so many things do now that were made a long time ago when times were different, and people got away with saying stuff that they probably shouldn't have said or didn't say. But you know what? People said it then. That's it. People did that. That's the way people talked. That's the way people lived. It's not the way a lot of people should think. And a lot of these movies don't support that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is Bad News Bears, I don't give a shit, even in today's politically correct, climate where you can't really say anything without somebody getting pissed off. Bad News Bears is an incredibly honest, unbelievably accurate portrayal of what it was like to be a kid in the 70s. From the dialogue, to the language, to the offensive stuff that's in it, to the way that the kids acted and spoke, to the things that happened within the movie that would never happen in movies nowadays. I find it fucking honest and refreshing, quite frankly. So if you're offended by it, fuck off. It's a great movie. Bad News Bears, great movie about baseball, great movie about sports, great movie in general. It is the best baseball movie ever made. My second favorite baseball movie ever made is Field of Dreams, which isn't necessarily a baseball movie. Some people would call it hokey. I don't give a shit. I am hook, line, and sinker with Field of Dreams. I love that movie. At its core, it's about the spirit of baseball. It's a terrific baseball movie. It's not necessarily a play-by-play who's going to win the series, who's going to win the game, like a lot of these baseball movies are about. It's more, about a journey that this main character takes that involves baseball. But I still think Field of Dreams is a great film, and I cry every time I see it. Hey, Dad, want to have a catch? Forget it. I would like to. COVID. Anyway, Naked Gun. I want to throw in. As I fly down this list of, the quintessential baseball movies that everybody knows about, there's a ton of them, and I'll fly down title after title after title, give you my thoughts. And what are your favorite baseball movies of all time? Baseball season has begun. It's awesome. The Cubs are going to be 162-0 this year. But as I fly through this list, I just want to go through what I think of some of these and baseball movies in general. But my favorite of all time, Bad News Bears, second, Field of Dreams. And one of my favorite baseball movies that doesn't ever get mentioned as a baseball movie, but the last, half hour almost, is baseball, Naked Gun. Yeah, that's right. Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad, Leslie Nielsen, based upon the Police Squad TV series, the first Naked Gun movie. The last half hour of that is some of the best baseball movie stuff that you will ever see. In addition to being hilarious, in addition to being one of the funniest movies ever, and that the Zucker brothers and the Abrams guy are geniuses, Naked Gun, in addition to being hilarious, is a baseball movie, and it's a great baseball movie, and I always include it as a baseball movie. Another great baseball movie that a lot of people don't necessarily include as a baseball movie is Richard Linklater's brilliant, awesome sequel in spirit to Dazed and Confused, which is Everybody Wants Some. What Dazed and Confused was to the 80s, or to the 70s, Everybody Wants Some is to the 80s. And it also happens to be a fantastic baseball movie about the college baseball team that these guys are on. And it takes place in the early 80s. It is a great film, a really underappreciated movie. It's in the shadow. I knew it stands in the shadow of Dazed and Confused, which is one of the greatest films ever made. And iconic in every way, and a lot of people keep comparing it to it. It's a great film, one of my favorite movies of the past 15, 20 years. I love it. It's great. It's every bit as lovely as Dazed and Confused in a whole different way and in a whole different tone. And Everybody Wants Some, also a great baseball movie. So those are my quick choices. A legitimate baseball movie, Bad News Bears, the best baseball movie ever made. I don't want to hear it. If you disagree, you're wrong. Field of Dreams, although it's not really technically a baseball playing movie, it is a great baseball movie. And then Everybody Wants Some and Naked Gun, not considered at first to be baseball movies, but they are. So here's this a list here, according to, I guess it's IMDb. The Natural, Robert Redford. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. Especially if you've read the book. If you've read the book, it's an insult to the book. It's a terrible movie. Hate it. Major League. Fun. Just a throwaway movie. There's not a lot going on here. It has some great lines. You want to talk about a movie that plays a little bit offensively today? Go back and watch Major League. But there's great stuff in it. It's a piffle of a movie. It's a piffle. It's not going to change the world, or it's not great by any stretch of the imagination. But I like Major League. The sequels, however, all suck. All the Major League sequels completely. They all suck. I'll just skip right over them. First Major League, entertaining, stupid, but entertaining. Pride of the Yankees, Gary Cooper, terrific movie. There's stuff in it that doesn't work. It's dated, but that seems to happen to a lot of these movies. Pride of the Yankees, solid. Bull Durham, terrific movie. Great baseball movie, great acting in it, really wonderful stuff. One of the 4 Kevin Costner baseball movies, and Bull Durham is terrific. Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins, hilarious in it. The Sandlot, sorry, don't like it. I know everybody loves it. I don't know, maybe it just wasn't, it just didn't work for me. I found it to be shrill and annoying. I found the kids all annoying in it. You're killing me, Smalls, and all that stuff. I don't get it. Sorry, I guess it wasn't part of my generation. First time I saw it, I trashed it on Roy Leonard's show on the radio, and I've gone back to watch it again because it has such a strong following. Every time I watch it, I can't get through it. So, don't like The Sandlot. 8 Men Out, a great film. John Sayles, a great movie about the Black Sox scandal, and it is a terrific movie. And it is the 1918-1919 scandal that took place. Unbelievable cast. I love Eight Men Out. That one should be listed among some of the great ones. 61 Asterisk, directed by Billy Crystal. Really great performances in that movie. Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, with great performances by everybody, especially Thomas Jane, my main man, Todd from Boogie Nights. Good movie. All right, League of Their Own. Hate it. Hate A League of Their Own. Hate it. One of the most annoying, insufferable, really mishandled, and a completely inaccurate portrayal of what happened and what that story was about. People love that movie. I don't understand it. I think a lot of it is embarrassing. It's full of great actresses and terrific actors, but it's a misfire on every single level. I hate A League of Their Own. I think it's one of the worst baseball movies ever made. So I don't know. And it's got so many people in it that I love. You know, Madonna's in it. Gina Davis is in it. Lori Petty, who I adore. It's just a terrible movie. When the best part of a movie is Tom Hanks taking a very long piss, it's not a good movie. A League of Their Own sucks. Bang the Drum Slowly, terrific movie, great movie, with great performances, Michael Moriarty, Robert De Niro, and let's see, Damn Yankees, you can't go wrong with Damn Yankees. Great musical, classic. The film version of it is really good. For Love of the Game, not so much. Kevin Costner. Sam Raimi directed that movie. I think he lost a bet. The baseball scenes are great. Everything else in it, bad. The Rookie, great movie. Dennis Quaid, one of my favorite, most underrated baseball movies of all time. Dennis Quaid plays a Texas high school coach who ends up going to the majors and pitching. It's a really underrated movie, a really wonderful movie. If you have not seen The Rookie with Dennis Quaid, you should. Rookie of the Year, bullshit. Garbage. Kid breaks his arm, pitches for the Cubs, throws 90 miles an hour. Gary Busey's in it. If you want to hear some stories about what it was like to shoot Rookie of the Year, on one of my YouTube videos, if you fly back a bunch of months, one of the first ones I ever did about, 6 months ago, I talked about my week with Gary Busey. I spent a week hanging out with Gary Busey. 7 nights in a row hanging out with Gary Busey. And take everything that you think that might be, how insane it is, how intense, how nuts it is. Oh, I'm Gary Busey. Take all that, multiply it by 1 million, and you're kind of close to how fucking insane it was to hang out with Gary Busey every night. All of that is detailed in a video somewhere on this YouTube page. And he was shooting Rookie of the Year when I hung out with him. He was in town shooting Rookie of the Year. And that's where I hung out with him. And Rookie of the Year, awful movie. Let's see, what else do we got here? They mentioned The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes. I don't think I even need to mention that. Mr. Destiny is on here with asshole Belushi. Terrible movie. Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck. God, there's a lot of bad ones. Angels in the Outfield was made twice. The original Angels in the Outfield from the 50s, and then the remake from the 90s, Angels in the Outfield. I like them both. They're both, just throwaway movies, but I actually like them both. I thought the remake was fun. Christopher Lloyd's in the remake, so you gotta love that. Let's see, what are some of the other ones here? The Kid from Left Field, pretty good movie. Let's see, what else? Brewster's Millions, they consider a baseball movie. Walter Hill movie with Richard Pryor, who has to spend a bunch of money in order to inherit a bunch of money, and that involves the Cubs. Again, the Cubs being mentioned here. Let's see, The Bingo Long and the All-Star Traveling Motor Kings. A terrific movie, a great movie about the Negro Leagues, the early days of the Negro Leagues, with a tremendous cast. Billy D. Williams and James Earl Jones, Richard Pryor. Bingo Long, a great movie, great 70s baseball film, good baseball movie, and a great portrayal of the Negro Leagues, which you didn't get to see a lot. The Bad News Bears, all the sequels to the Bad News Bears are shit, especially the Japanese one. Let them play is when they played at Houston at the Astrodome. Long Gone, really a great movie with William Peterson of The Beautiful Virginia Madsen, HBO movie, really good one. What are some of the other ones here? Amazing Grace and Chuck, Stealing Home with Mark Harmon and the beautiful Jodie Foster, pretty terrible movie. Not really a baseball movie, does have baseball in it. Little Big League, my first ex-wife was in Little Big League. She had a small, teeny, extra role in Little Big League. Pretty good movie. Not great. Let's see. The Scout with Brendan Fraser and the great Albert Brooks. Parts of it are good. There are some good things in it, but overall, not very good. Michael Ritchie directed that movie. Perfect Game is another one. Up for Grabs. Basketball, which is really not about baseball, but it's like the guys from South Park created. I love Basketball. I think it's a great movie. It's not really a baseball movie, though. The Comrades of Summer. Let's see. Mr. Wonderful. Hardball, the baseball movie that was shot here in Chicago with Keanu Reeves. About the kids in the project who play baseball. Not a great movie, but it has some good stuff in it. Summer Catch, Kill the Umpire, Air Bud, the seventh inning fetch. I wasn't even aware that was a thing. Let's see, Mickey, Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac. Some great stuff in that movie. Not a good movie. To see Fever Pitch, which was based on the book about soccer that Nick Hornby wrote, and then was made into a movie with asshole Jimmy Fallon and asshole Drew Barrymore. Unwatchable. Terrible movie. But if you want to see a really terrible movie called Fever Pitch, try to find the 1985 movie called Fever Pitch. It has nothing to do with soccer or baseball or sports. It's a gambling movie with Ryan O'Neal. It is, without question, the worst movie ever made. And it is the greatest worst movie of all time. If you can find it, 1985 Fever Pitch, directed by Richard Brooks, starring Ryan O'Neal. John Saxon is in it. It's an expose of gambling. And it is the greatest worst movie ever made. If you think you've seen the best, the funniest, the most hilarious worst movie of all time, and you haven't seen Fever Pitch from 1985, then you haven't seen the worst movie ever made and the funniest worst movie ever made. Fever Pitch, 1985. Very difficult to find. I think it's only available on VHS. There might be bootleg copies out there. It's worth the look, without question. And there's no arguing on this. The worst movie ever made. The greatest, the funniest, the most hilarious fucking worst movie ever made. 1985, Fever Pitch, Ryan O'Neal. Look it up. If you haven't seen it, then you haven't seen the worst movie ever made. But the Fever Pitch baseball movie with Jimmy Dickhead Fallon and Drew Barrymore is also terrible. Game 6, really good movie. I guess there was a sequel to The Sandlot, and a third sequel to The Sandlot, and a fourth sequel. The Benchwarmers, from the mind of Adam Sandler, which stars your Rob Schneider and your Jagoff from Napoleon Dynamite and David Spade. Crap. Benchwarmers. What is this? Beer League. Okay. That one not very good. Fear Strikes Out, which was about Jimmy Pearsall. Or some of the other ones. The Babe, which was with John Goodman, who played Babe Ruth. Terrible. Cobb with Tommy Lee Jones as Ty Cobb. Not a terrible movie. Good performances, but about 7 people have seen it. I haven't seen it since it came out. I remember liking it. Soul of the Game, about the Negro Leagues, an HBO movie. Terrific movie, Soul of the Game. Definitely worth seeing. I'm not touching on documentaries or the Ken Burns, obviously the quintessential thing about baseball of all time. American Pastime is another one, the final season. Moneyball, terrific movie. Brad Pitt, really good movie about Billy Beane and his attempt to assemble a baseball team through numbers and charts, and it turned out to be great, based on a true story. Moneyball, a great film, that's a great one. That's a great baseball movie. Let's see, Signs of the Time, Joe Torre, documentary, the Babe Ruth story. I bet there have been 5 major league movies total, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, that's some baseball movies. Baseball season has begun. Cubs are off. They're in first place. They got a perfect record. That'll last, I don't know what, maybe half a week. But baseball rules and baseball movies are a lot of fun. But I got to say, I think most of them aren't very good. But the best baseball movie of all time, if you want to watch the best baseball movie of all time, it's Bad News Bears, which is also insanely accurate about what it was like to be a kid in the 70s. And maybe you find it offensive, maybe you find it inappropriate to watch nowadays. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I love that movie. It represents my childhood insanely accurately, how we talked, how we acted, how kids were in the 70s, and what baseball means, and what sports meant at that time. It's a great movie. It's the best baseball movie ever made. Bad News Bears. And again, don't forget about Naked Gun. Yes, Naked Gun's a baseball movie. All right. Hey, listen, enjoy baseball. It's going to be a fun season, and it feels kind of normal. The park was packed. Most people didn't have masks on. Everybody seemed to have a great time. The Cubs won. Baseball is back. And speaking of baseball, it's hockey. Congratulations to Marian Hossa, retired as a Hawk, forever a Hawk, and this number, 81, will be up in the rafters at the UC, retired forever. Marian Hossa, historical. So, but anyway, it's baseball season. Enjoy baseball and enjoy the movies, and